Dealing with a butterfly guard can be really dangerous because there's so many different options that the guy can do, from elevating to getting underhooks to going into half guard. There's just a lot of different situations, but the big key here is heels and butt don't get separated. Don't rock to a side and let this happen where that starts opening up, because it's going to lead into his bigger and stronger attacks. You always want to stay together. Even if he starts elevating, go ahead, and he starts elevating this position, you don't want this to happen where your butt and heels become separated. Okay? Try to keep your butt together so that when he tries to lift, I stay upright so that when he's starting to pull me up, this stays as close together as possible. The second my butt comes distant from my heels, I'm going to start getting rocked up. Okay? So from posture purposes, always grab your partner around your back and start trying to get your butt to your heels and scoot away, shortening or elongating his hooks. Don't let him keep his hooks in nice and close here, because then when he puts his back on the floor, you're going to get that separation here. Okay, so that's kind of the first concept here, is stay heavy on the hooks. Don't let him rock side to side. Make sure we stay in position here. The next thing that's really important is our elbows, okay? Don't leave him open where he's gonna come in for his underhooks and he's gonna start working. If it happens, okay, hand in front of the face, back of the palm to the heart, push it off, start battling for grips, and get your frames inside his knees on his ribs to start opening up this position, okay? And then we can work on maybe walking a knee in and start getting into an easier position to deal with. But one of the ways I really like to pass a half guard is quickly, okay? And what that means is my hand is gonna drop to the midsole of the foot, and I'm basically gonna, like a push-up, I'm gonna push myself up on it so that all my weight's in my hands. If I pick my hand up, I fall down. I don't wanna be here and then that happen. Make sure you lean on it with everything you have, and the next one goes to the knee, okay? If I can pin the knee and ankle to the mat, passing the guard is relatively easy, because now all I have to do is shuffle around his leg until it gets in front. Now the leg's in front and I can work on passing through. And a lot of guys ask, well, what about the other foot swimming in front? Again, anytime his knees come together, you have to be able to pass his guard. Like, if you can't pass his guard with his legs together and not locked onto anything, then we have bigger problems in jiu-jitsu to worry about. So when we're in this position and we're hand fighting, we're doing all this, when I'm ready to go, I basically sprawl my weight back, boom, quickly so that I can get to here, and I start walking around. My partner's just gonna figure out what to do with his feet. It doesn't matter what. There we go. He puts it right in front. It's a supernatural reaction, even for the higher level guys, to go here. When he does that, we sprawl on it. Okay, I climb up to the back, I climb over both legs, and I just start walking around. The idea being, all I'm trying to do is force the action and have my partner just dig his own grave. Nice and simple. He's just got to dig his grave. When we go like this and we start coming around, this foot's got to get involved. Once he puts this foot past my heart, I push it to the other side. The IT band here is really weak for a lot of people. You can pretty much put your hand on it. When he tries to open up his knee as hard as he can, it's not that strong. Okay? His legs now, however, if they're flared out, can be really strong to push together. But once he rocks to this side and this knee comes up and I see the IT band with my chest, he tries to open it up, my body pretty much does it with no effort. Gravity is enough with my body weight to pretty much push that down. And that's what I'm trying to do when I'm in butterfly guard. I want to get him to commit to get this knee over to this side so that I can lay on it. Okay, there's a couple of different ways we can do that. We can just long step again to get this to bring down, and we can come back up and we can start working on passing. We can, from this position, we can weave to use our arm strength and our grip to bring him back down to the mat. I see a lot of guys come through and they grab the bottom of the pants here, and then they come through with the other one, they grab the top, and they basically stretch the arms together, drive the knees up, pass them to the other side, and then walk past the guard. There's a lot of different little techniques you can do, but the concept for a lot of them are the same. All we care about is how do we get the knees together. And there's no wrong answer as long as our opponent's knees come together. So when I go to the other side here, 1, 2, and I push it down, where does he go from here? There, see, my chest sees this, bang. And I can collapse it really easily. Once he brings that foot across the line where his knee is past his hip, it's not vertical anymore, right? If we put your back towards the camera here, and just go ahead and lay down. Yeah. There, look, his knee is here. Once his knee comes up, he's still strong. His knee is in line with his hip. But once it comes past that, once his knee is past the line of his hip, it gets easy to just crush, okay? Even if it comes to here, it gets easy, try to keep your knee up, it gets easy to pull down. It's not that hard. So as I try to pull myself up and get to the other side, his knees will always come together. So when we're in this position and I come past to here, he throws that foot over, look, way past the hip line. I got him to overcommit to the situation. And then we just lay on it. Super simple. And if he tries to go shallow and just set a hook inside the bicep, I'll take that all day because I'll just come into my weave, again, bringing his knee past, turning it down, and then coming back over. Again, I just make sure I follow the steps of what's my goal. How am I going to try to pass the butterfly guard? Right now, the idea is bring the knees together. I can do that plenty of different ways. I can come through. I can weave and drive the shoulders down. I can come through and grab the bottom of the pants, the knees. I can lace them together, pass his legs to the other side, come up, okay? The other way is to just start shifting to the side so he commits overly, no, keep it turned out. There, and I just keep walking until he brings that leg. Then I can pin it down, okay? I see some guys, all they try to do is walk and shuffle until they get enough pressure to get it down to the other side. But again, all of them are doing the same thing. They're not different moves. It's the same move done in just slightly different ways. Idea, get the legs together. No matter how you can do it, concept number 1, legs together, okay? Can't say it enough. Legs together, butterfly guard. When he's up here fighting, I'm not even trying to think about passing his guard right now because his knees aren't together, okay? My goal is to try to figure out how do I want to get his legs together, okay? How do I want to get his, there we go. Got his legs together, I drive in, and now I'm going to start working to pass. Everything I do when he's up in butterfly guard, when he's fighting, go ahead and fight for all your grips. Yeah, go ahead. My whole thing is how do I get his legs together? Then, when they're together, now, okay, I go for broke, I start trying to pass the guard with everything I got. Until then, everything is fending off from getting swept. You got to understand what your goals are and what you're trying to do when you're dealing with something like a butterfly guard or a very offensive position from your opponents.